Record to good. Recording's in progress. So I want to welcome everybody for jumping on today. We believe in starting on time and ending on time. We know your time is valuable, and we appreciate you taking time out to get on here with us today. Today, we're going to be talking about how to pivot in a changing real estate market. So one thing we would like you to do is be very interactive with us. One of those ways you can do that is right now down in the chat, you can put your market that you're in, how long you've been in real estate, and if you want to do some referral action, you can go ahead and put your cell phone or email, the best way to contact you, right? So if somebody's like, oh, like we got Alex here from Indianapolis, I have an Indy referral, you can refer to Alex and things like that, right? So go ahead and put your information in the chat box if you want to swap out referrals. And at the end of the Zoom, you're going to be able to go ahead and download the chat so you have all the entire chat that's on there. And while we're talking, if you have questions, go ahead and type them in the chat. And our panelists will go ahead and grab them as we go, as it's in the flow. You'll also get a chance to ask some live questions at the end. We're going to have a Q&A. But we're going to start off right here in the beginning with our panelists. And I'm going to get going right now. I want to introduce you. My name is Jim Lambert. My wife Stacey and I have been selling real estate out of the Columbus, Ohio market since 1997. We like to say we started our real estate business in the 1900s. So there you go. But I'm going to be introducing you today, Alex Montagano. Give me a thumbs up, Alex. So I got it right. Good. I got it right that time. You never know where you're going to put the little accent mark on there. But Alex has been in real estate now for over a decade. He's out of the Indianapolis marketplace. He and his team are a baller. They do a few hundred transactions every year, tens and tens and tens of millions, 65 million and counting. And then I'm going to introduce also our other panelist, Stephanie Gilezan. Stephanie Gilezan has been in real estate for a couple of decades.
I started in the 1900s too. I'm stealing that, Jim.
What year? What year?
1999.
1999. There we go. We're going to party like it's 1999 today. And ladies, you're going to love this. She is a power woman. She started as a single mom, female in the commercial industry back in the 1900s. And for those of you who know that, that was a boys club back then. And she broke all the glass ceilings with that goes where she's at. She is a massive real estate agent. I believe you have somewhere, around $1 billion in real estate transactions going right now, several $100 million worth of listings and a few $100 million in pendings. So she's somebody you're going to want to listen to. And with that, I'm going to get out of the way. I'm going to let Alex and Stephanie take it from here. Yes, we are recording it. Whoever invited you on here will give you the link to the recording afterwards, but let's get after it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jim. I really appreciate it. And thanks everybody for jumping in. We're going to talk today about how to work and pivot through the market that has so drastically changed many times, I think, in the last calendar year. And what's interesting is I run a team. We have 12 agents on the team. And if you look at our team in whole, outside of one other agent on the team, everybody's new to the industry within the last 4 years. And I think it's really common and it's really important to recognize that there's a lot of agents that haven't had to work or do transactions in the market that we're working through today. And so what's so fascinating about what we're trying to figure out and how we're evolving through this is that every single day and every single week in our business, what we're experiencing each week, each day, each transaction is a little different than the last one. And so what I'm going to talk about today is some habits and behaviors that are important to your real estate business that have proven to prevail the test of time. And I'll refer to them as Old Faithful. So I think it's important to recognize that over the last couple of years, if you've been doing real estate, you've pretty much served for your clients as an order taker. You open the door, you figure out how to write the highest and the most absurd offer that a seller is going to accept or that an agent's going to help provide, a special treatment to you because they know you. And they give you we call it the last look. And then once you get the last look, can you get your clients to sign the contract or not? Fast forward to now, we have constant conversation of interest rate change, payment adjustment, the question around, I would buy that, but what's my house worth? And so how to negotiate inspections. I did 2 inspection responses yesterday, asked for new roofs on both, with each roof costing over $25,000, unheard of relative to the last couple of years in the market. It was kind of a take it or leave it deal for buyers. Sellers flex, have all the power, right? But while we work and to navigate through these things, we look as agents and we wonder if transactions are decreasing and the amount of business and the amount of inventory shortage that we have, we're often finding agents asking each other, where are you getting your business? What I'd like to focus on today is finding people in your market that have to move, not the people that want to move. It's the people that have to move. And so the people that have to move are the people that are experiencing life changes, lifestyle changes. So as we get on Facebook and we get on social media and we see our friends and our family going through these lifestyle changes, death, disease, divorce, job change, birth, new babies, job transfers, things like that. Somebody's getting married, they're going to join the home, they're likely going to move into a home and start a new family. Those are the things that I would encourage you guys to be looking for on a consistent basis every single day. And so it's the agent that is fearless in the approach to find the people that have to move, or the agent that will reap the fruits of the labor of the market right now. And what's important to recognize is that when the market kind of squeezes down, while some agents will be forced out, the agents that grab the market share today are the people that will impact and change their business and create business trajectory that has the upward direction that we're also looking for a lifetime. So what I would say while we're looking at our business is transitioning from order takers to hunters. We all need to be hunting for business. Stephanie and I talked about that a little bit this morning, and I'll let her steer some of that later once I wrap up here. But it's the boring behaviors that we're asked to do every single day. It's for sale by owners, prospecting a seller with a sign in the yard that says, somebody please come buy my house. Fastest source of business opportunity. There's your low-hanging fruit. For sale by owners. Call them, provide your value. There's a strong likelihood that those for sale by owners don't know how to navigate the transactions. And a lot of them are underlisted in the market right now, in addition to be undermarketed. Expired listings. Those are people that are trying to sell their house. And the agents that we're talking about that have been consistent order takers over the last couple of years are failing them. They need your services. They need your education. They need your direct communication to say, here's where you're wrong and here's how you need to sell this house. Door knocking. How can you find opportunity in listings, but also property for your buyers? An agent friend of mine, Jason Hoffman, said recently, I had a friend drive by a house and say, I'd love to buy that house. It checks all the boxes. I'd love to have it, but it's not on the market. Jason went and knocked on the door. A couple days later, he's under contract. 30 days later, the client's in the property. Bada boom, bada bing, created opportunity without waiting for the competition of a sign to be in the yard. Social media. How are you posting and promoting your business? What things are you putting out there? Are you a realtor that's posting that you listed and sold a property in 2 days? Congratulations, you're just like everybody else. What things do you do differently? And I saw something posted on Instagram recently, and it said, if you're a realtor that's basically standing in front of a listing and reading the property description or giving information that you can find online, you have no value. You're doing nothing. Talk about the surroundings. Talk about the highlights outside of what's in a property description. Talk about what's unique. Talk about what's nearby. Talk about something that's going to make somebody go, holy smokes, I need to call Jim right now. Open houses, another opportunity. Somebody's literally walking in the door of a listing that you're sitting in, that you have all the information on, saying, I'm interested in looking at houses. I bet you once every 2 weeks, we have a buyer enter our team database that basically says, I am looking for property. My realtor is not doing their job. I'm frustrated. I need to find a house within the next X number of days. Would you be able to help me out? And those are the people that have been order takers. Who's the value provider? Those are the things that we need to be looking to enhance as agents, to then search and find opportunity. You meet somebody at an open house that in turn can't find a property. Their realtor sets them up on an auto drip, just like we all do, because it's as easy as it gets. And then nobody follows up. Nobody connects with agents. Nobody does anything to make a deal happen. We are value providers and we are deal makers, guys. We have to be more than just people that are pushing paperwork along the wagon. Again, lifestyle changes. I'll go back to this again because this is truly all that matters. You want to be frustrated in your business, work with a bunch of people that want to move, because when the rates go to 6, they'll call you and say, oh my gosh, they dropped. Can we go look at this house? And then when they go to 6.5, they're going to say, oh my gosh, never mind. I can't do it. I don't like the payment. It doesn't really work for me. I don't like the mudroom. The mudroom? What? That's a conversation I had over the weekend. The reality is they want to move. They don't need to move. The things that are forcing people to move are the things that are going to get you to essentially have more clients to then create more opportunity for the market. Those are the activities that you guys need to be doing that are going to create lifelong business and ultimately a self-sustaining career for you. If you're constantly working on those boring activities, it's going to create lifelong opportunity. It's going to create better relationships with the clients you have. And then you serve as somebody that's a relationship creator versus somebody that's just a transactional agent. When I rebranded my company, one of the first sentences that we wrote in the explanation as to why I rebranded from one company to another, hard work works, relationships matter. If you can play the long game of how to formulate as many relationships as possible by working hard to get those relationships, the old faithful, right? Boring behaviors like FSBOs, expireds, door knocking, open houses, and social media, and loving on your sphere, those are the things that are going to build your business for a lifetime, not the short term, I need a commission tomorrow. Stephanie, I'll turn it over to you and let you jump in, and I'll provide some stuff a little later too.
Real quick before we go to Stephanie, great job, Alex, on that. I want to throw in here for everyone. The reason Alex is talking about these activities is because if you do the same activities in 2023 right now that you did in 2022, expect to see a 30% drop in your business, a 30% drop. And the reason for that is this: the agent count is still climbing. The number of agents coming in is still climbing, but the number of sales is leveling off. We're not seeing real estate crash. This is not a 2008 crash, but we're seeing it leveling off. So what happens? You have a divide that occurs in there. You're going to have to ramp up the activities that Alex is talking to, and I'm sure Stephanie's going to be talking about here in a second, or you are going to see a 30% drop. You need to, at minimum, 3x whatever you were doing, 3 times it, if you want to stay status quo and make the same amount of money you made in 2022. But if you're smart and you want to gain market share is always gathered in times of when the market flattens out or when it takes a little bit of a dip, or in 2008 when it takes a crash. That's when the winners are made. If you want to do that, you want to get out there and 10x it. You want to 10x it, and you will actually grow in this market when everybody else is starving and dying on the vine. So I want to bring Stephanie on to that. Alex, that was great stuff. We look forward to hearing back from you here in a second. But Stephanie, when you get going, there's a commercial question in the chat that I want to have you address when you have a second.
All right, perfect. We'll do that. I love these types of markets, where everything's a little bit different than it was the last 3 years, because when I got into the business, for those of you that joined early on today's call, I got in 1999, in the 1900s, as Jim Landbright has coined it, which I absolutely love that. It makes me sound really, really ancient. So, getting into the real estate business in the 1900s, the first thing I had to do was learn how to hunt. Alex mentioned this, and this is what I speak to agents about all the time. You get into this business, you're 21 years old, you have no sphere of influence. The only thing you can do is go hunt for one. And so I love these times that we're dealing with in the real estate industry, the fluctuation of everything, because it's exciting. It's exactly how I got into the business. Rates were 8.6%, didn't know what the heck I was going to do, but by God, I was going to hunt and find out those opportunities and make sure that every opportunity I maximize. What I love about today versus 1999 is in 1999, the internet really hadn't taken shape as it relates to real estate. Okay. There wasn't data out there. The MLS wasn't even on data or on the internet yet in my market. And so, today we have so much access to data. And so what I find myself doing so that I am not the everyday agent. Alex said it best. If you're posting you sold a house in 2 days, you're just like everybody else. I love that you identified that, Alex, because it's true. One of the things that I do every single day to hunt is I'm studying Google Trends. I am studying what consumers are searching for, right? Maybe it is, I can't afford my mortgage. You know, you can go in for free and search Google Trends, hone in on your market area, hone in on the entire nation, your state, whatever the case might be, and look at these types of things that people are searching for as it relates to real estate. Because a lot of those people are searching for, you know, I have an adjustable rate mortgage, and I never thought rates were going to increase to what they are now. And now I'm going to, you know, my 2.67% interest rate is going to have to jump to 7%, right? Study what consumers are looking for. Alex said it best. We are deal makers and we're value providers. But here's one better than that. I've always told everyone I'm never a salesperson. I am a problem solver. So what I hunt for is every problem that exists in my surroundings, right? So I'm hunting for who's searching for these you know, these trends, these Google search questions that they're putting in because they're looking for someone to provide to that. Then I want you to start speaking to that in your social media, and I want you to hashtag it, because as they start putting in those statements or those questions, you're also going to come up in those searches, right? And so really start to study the data. It's all free. It's all out there. If you're not sure how to utilize or how to do that, go to YouTube and say, how do I search market trend statements on Google? It's going to show you a video on how to do it. Tons of different softwares that are free, and then also softwares that you could pay for to get even more information on those. But you can then turn that into your content, which becomes your advertisement, which then puts it in their face, because you could be doing YouTube videos to that. You could be doing the videos on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever the case might be. And that's what you need to start speaking to, because agents don't think this way, you all. They don't. They look at the competition and then they replicate the competition. You've got to stand out and become that problem solver. Now, people will copy you, and that's okay, but that's the things that you need to start to do. And so find the opportunities right now, because there are so many of them out there. You know, we had a couple of gosh, Jim, when did we have on Carrington, where we spoke about how many home loans were originated between January of 2020 and today? Over $8 billion worth. And they said specifically 10% of those are in troublesome jeopardy, right? People have changed. The economy has changed. Their jobs have changed. There are people in need. Start learning to hunt for those opportunities. Okay. Now, Jim said it. I'm primarily in that commercial space, but this applies across the board. I don't care what property type it is. If there is a loan, the information is out there. If it's residential, it's out there. If it's commercial, it's out there. We're doing the same thing as it relates to commercial real estate. I'm just doing it on a larger scale and not just in my own market. But that is exactly who I'm calling upon now. I subscribe to data. I pay good money for it each month, but it's worth it to me because I can pull up who all has a loan coming due in the next 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and I can specifically call on them and say, I see you own the property at 123 Main Street. I also see that you have a loan coming due in the next 90 days. What is your plan? And the reason why I phrase it like that is because I want them to understand I'm not after the listing. I'm after finding out what their plan is and how can I help them with that plan. That's how you really scale in this market, because very few people in real estate ever offer up solutions. They always go straight to the kill. They always go straight to, I want your listing. Start to offer up those solutions. Start to be that content provider. Start to be the person that's giving value in a different way than a typical salesperson does, and you will have a following beyond belief. Majority of my business now, 24 years into this industry, is a lot of referral business. And it's because they know I have an answer. And it wasn't overnight that happened. It was the consistency of providing those answers over and over again. And so now it's even more important to start those routines. Don't just do it once and think that's going to bring you something. Okay. You know, I had a great call with an agent yesterday, and she's very nervous about this economy. And a lot of agents reach out to me for this very reason, because they've not experienced it before. She said, look, my business has gone to like almost nothing. I don't have anything right now. I've got a lot of concerned buyers that aren't ready to pull the trigger because there's nothing great for them to buy. And I said, what have you done in the last 30 days to generate any business? Well, I've been posting on social media, but again, she's been posting like anybody else in real estate has, you know, saying that the economy is not bad and now's the time to buy. But you're not bringing any great content to those people. I want you to start hunting for those specific contents. You know, it can be as easy as, if you don't have a listing to hold open, making sure you're reaching out to agents who do and offering to hold them open, but also going around that neighborhood and go back to the basics. I love old school real estate. I love old school real estate where we actually got out of our car, walked up to a door, rang the doorbell, and just introduced ourselves and built relationships the old school way. Technology is phenomenal, but again, we've got to evolve technology to be that value add. I want you to think of yourselves as the Wikipedia of real estate, and you're all that matters, right? If you can pull that off to your sphere, you're going to be the only one they're thinking of, if you can pull that off. And so write a game plan of what do you know well that you're going to start speaking to as it relates to value add real estate knowledge, value add information as it relates to those Google trends, and then how you're going to manifest your content around that. You know, people make a list of their sphere when they get into real estate. By now, everybody on this call should have a sphere. That's easy. Now I want you to start making a list of the value add you're going to start giving back to that sphere over the next 9 months, and see what that does to change your business. Remember, people do business with people who know what the heck they're talking about, not by dreamers, not by people who have the fanciest Instagram, not by people who get on TikTok and swing their hips. They want value add. They want you to know that they want to know that you're competent. So show them your competence, but wow them with your knowledge. All of this stuff is not made up. None of this stuff is reinventing the wheel. It's all out there for you to just duplicate and retrofit to who you are. So I'll pause right there. And Jim, I do want to get to the box about, let's see here. I would really like advice on this, especially the lion's share of my business is commercial. I typically work with relocating medical and scientific professionals with a life-work balance. Was that the one you were referring to?
Yep,
Jim?
I think it's a 3-part comment. Directly above that is she's got, what if the sellers will not listen to why they are wrong, even with evidence? Like, what would you say to somebody when you're providing them with evidence, and maybe it's a residential listing, you're letting them know they need to drop their price, or in this case, it's a commercial deal. What do you do with that?
Okay, so usually when an agent asks me this, they have said, but they have not given hard detail facts. As something relates to commercial real estate, what is the first thing you should do on a commercial real estate property that you're listing to sell? You should underwrite the property. If you haven't performed a full underwriting of that property, that's where you've gone wrong. And the reason why I start there is because I make sure every property that I list as it relates to commercial real estate, I do a full underwriting on it, because I then take that to 12 lenders to certify it financeable. Okay, that's a hard word to say, financeable. I allow for the full underwriting, which is based on the hard facts of comparables, what has sold, and what else the banks have lent on, to be the hard given facts in writing. When it's me and 12 other banks saying what you're trying to verbally say, How do you think that seller reacts? You've just pushed him right off that big ledge that he's put himself on and made him knock the air out of himself. Hard facts. Conversations are not hard facts. Conversations are opinions. So make sure you've done that full underwriting of that property, provided hard facts, send it off to, if it's not 12 lenders, send it off to 3 lenders. At least send it off to 3 commercial lenders in that space and have them fully underwrite the property and then deliver all 4 hard facts to your seller. And then if he still doesn't get it, do what's right, walk away, because you're knocking your head up against the wall.
So
we're gonna go to Alex next. Real quick, guys, before you jump in there. Hang on real quick. Go to Alex next, but I want to throw something in there on Stephanie's real quick. First of all, I want to congratulate everybody for getting on this call. This went out to hundreds and hundreds of agents, but you guys are the ones who are on here. So congratulations. My mentor taught me this. When the leader stops learning, the leader should stop leading. And so you guys are on here. All of you deserve a pat on the back for jumping on here and trying to learn more to get that thing. Because here's what's happened in the last 10 years. Agents have gotten a lot of bad habits. You heard Alex say it in his segment before when he was talking. He said that agents have become order takers. That's the bad news. All of us got bad habits. I got into them too. Here's the good news. This is the great news. Most agents who develop those bad habits aren't going to get out of their comfort zone and go out and take active work going after it. They got used to doing some passive marketing, putting a post on Facebook, putting out a pretty picture of a house just listed or just sold on Instagram. And they thought that that is what was driving their business. No, it wasn't what was driving the business. It was the market. It was artificially low interest rates that were being held artificially low on purpose, right? That was what was driving the market. It was artificial. None of it was real. And so what we're going to get into now is the fact, exactly what Stephanie said, is hunting for the business instead of waiting for it to come to you. And I'll give you a quick 30-second analogy, and then we're going to go to Alex. It's kind of like if you can remember back in the day when you were dating. When you were dating, right, ladies, you would look all cute. You would go to the singles bar, right? And you would stand there and you would what? You would wait. You would wait for you to get approached. What's the problem with that? A lot of the times the ones that were approaching you were not the ones you wanted. And so that happens now in real estate. If you're just sitting out there with a pretty post on Facebook or just getting some internet traffic, you don't know what you're getting, but probably it's not the people that you want. Guys, we know what prospecting is, because when we went out, we had to find what we wanted and we had to go for it. Did we get rejected? I don't know about you, but yeah, me, a hell of a lot. But I ended up getting what I wanted eventually, enough times over and over and over again. But it was direct activity. And we have to do that with real estate now in this market. We got to get out of the bad habits of the last 10 years and get in here and go active and go hard. I think Alex is going to talk about that here in a second.
Yeah, I was going to add one more thing to the question about, I saw something, it was like, what if I can't get a seller to listen? I would ask harder, better, more direct questions to understand why they need what they need, or why the house is on the market, or why they're trying to accomplish what they're trying to accomplish, because you may be asking the wrong questions and you may be getting the incorrect answers to why you're stuck. So I would tell you to probably try to pry and dig a little harder. If he's trying to get a certain number of his house because he doesn't really need to move, or doesn't need to move, but he just wants to see what he can get, well, you can't care more than your seller cares. So traditionally, if you have a seller that's trying to get too much money for a property and you're sticking a sign in the yard to help them, he is very tough, rigid, Cuban gentleman. So yeah, I mean, look, sometimes I sang this song on a call yesterday with a client, the old Kenny Rogers. You got to know when to hold them. You got to know when to fold them. You got to know when to walk away. And that's the other side of it, is sometimes you can push and push and push. And if you're an agent that doesn't have a ton of business, or if you're somebody that's trying to build a business and this commission's important to you, you got to know enough's enough. I can't do this. I'm not the person for you. And that, you may strike out and feel like you lost, but the time that you're going to get back from not having to work with that client is so far. Denise, I'm just a sore loser. Walking away from this guy may actually make you a winner. You got to redefine what makes you a winner or a loser, and losing a deal sometimes is the greatest victory you'll ever have. I'll tell you that much. So It sounds like you're doing everything you can. And like I said, sometimes you got to know when to walk away, just like Stephanie said.
I'll add another analogy on top of that, another cliche. The old cliche is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right? Well, that's actually a fallacy, because the reality is this: you can make a horse drink. You've just got to find a thirsty horse.
Mhm.
They'll drink all day long, right? And so that's the case on that. One thing I would add on that, Denise, is this. Stacey and I use data overload. I would go out and get every piece of Google Analytics. I would show them every single person that has viewed every hit it's gotten on the internet, and I would pile data on top of them and then use the straw man argument. The straw man argument, for those of you who don't know what that is you want to keep a personal relationship with the person you're working with, right? Because they hired you. You don't want to be the bad guy or the bad girl bringing them the bad information. So we use the straw man. And what we say is a straw man is somebody who's a fictitious. They said, the market said, right? It's a fictitious person. It's not you. You're just the person delivering the message, right? You're the bearer of bad news, but you're not trying to be the enemy of them because you want to keep them as a client. So we say, well, according to these numbers, the market has rejected your price, right? The market has rejected your price. All of these people now, with everything we have on the internet, with our drone photography and all of our interior photos and everything we have, the virtual tour, by the time people are coming to see your house, it's a second showing. The first showing, or in this place, commercial, the market has rejected your price. We know that in this market right now, every single property will sell when it is priced properly. So we have all the marketing out there. We're getting all the hits. These are as many views as every other property is getting. It's got to be the price. And that's what the market's telling us. And that's what I do. The straw man argument works every time. Stephanie, I saw you were unmuted. You were ready to go again?
Oh, no, I was, Alex said it best, and you got to know when to walk away. And I mean, and that's sometimes the case, and you're not the sore loser for doing that, because you also don't want to gain the reputation of, oh, well, you listed that property over there and never sold it in the eyes of other people in that area.
Yep.
So,
I'm going to jump a little more here and kind of double down on some of the conversation we've already had. And Jim, I want you just did a training on this, and I think your training was about free lead generation. Guys, I think right now the conversation is, well, the market's shifting, and one of my really good friends is a mortgage guy, and it's, man, I got to get lean. I got to scale back my spending. I got to tighten my bootstraps. And my answer and my response to a lot of that is bullshit. Like, now is the time to double down on every single thing that you're doing. So I look and I say, our team, we invest in online leads. We invest in marketing for our sphere. We invest money for client appreciation events. I doubled it. I doubled our spend in the face of all of it, knowing I'm not going to lose in this. And if it takes me 6 months to 12 months to weather the storm, to get on the other side, quote unquote, of interest rates in the market and all of that, till we get our new normal or whatever we want to call it, I will do that to survive, because that's what entrepreneurship is all about. And everyone in the room is their own entrepreneur and their own business owner, and they get to choose how to run their business correctly. But something I've written down here, it says more marketing, more phone calls, better behaviors and support to your past clients. Everyone's your client. They're your client all the time. Better service to them, better contact with them, more activities and more investing into new business in your current sphere. So we increased opportunity for lead generation. I'm throwing a party for 400 to 500 people, past clients, friends, family, bring everybody. We've got bounce houses, magicians, things like that. And basically what it is it's a carnival style event that people can come. There's food trucks, and everybody comes and hangs out for 3 hours. And it gives our team and our realtors a chance to say, thank you for all you've done. Here's who we are as people outside of just the machines that sell your business and provide your solutions and all of that. So that's a great way to do it. When in 2020, March 2020, I've told the story before, I'll tell it again. It was a pivotal point in everybody's business. Pandemic hits in Indianapolis. They had shut down real estate. You couldn't do anything. Nobody could leave your house. You're wearing masks and gloves everywhere, and you have no idea what the hell's going on. I sat there and thought, what are something I can do from my couch that will provide value to my existing database? I sent out 175 personalized videos saying interest rates are really volatile right now. If your rate's above this, I would look to refinance. Call the lender. Here's my lending partner. I get nothing out of that other than the opportunity to connect and provide value or a problem. Take a problem that somebody has, a higher interest rate. Here's a solution. Did that for a week, lost my voice, got up a week later and thought, all right, now what do I do? I took and I found a local business that had turned themselves into a grocery store. I called the business and I said, will you guys do prepackaged kits for me if I pay for everything up front? They said, hell yeah, let's do it. 4 rolls of toilet paper, 4 bottles of water, paper towel, bread, cookies, and coffee, all in a big bag, $18 a piece. I picked up 25 a day for 6 days and drove them around the entire metropolitan Indianapolis market. Cost me over $3,000. $3,000 at the time was like terrifying for me to spend. It was like, man, I'm losing commission left and right. But I also drafted a letter about partnering with local businesses and plowing through the market challenges that we were facing. I signed all of them. I licked and stuck them in all these bags and I drove them around the city. That $3,000 paid me back, I think in 2020 alone, 50 times, guys. The amount of phone calls and the business and the marketing and the stuff. Alex, you always show up when the times are the toughest. Hard work works, relationship matters. That's a brand identity for my team and my company. So as an agent, when you look and you say, well, I don't have $3,000, Alex, what can I do? It's all the stuff that Stephanie talks about. It's being the expert in the room on things outside of how to sell a house in 24 hours. Because if you can't do that, they should take your license away right now anyway. And so those are the things where you need to be betting on yourself as a professional to say, Alex, is it a good time to buy real estate? Yes, it is. And here's why. And it's the message that you deliver these to your clients, to your peers, to social media, and to everybody. You have to deliver the message with ultimate conviction. And the reason I can sit up here and say it is because I've done it for 10 years, and it's how my team sells $65 million worth of business. We will survive whatever market faces us because we'll do the activities that we have to do fearlessly and with conviction that we know it's the right thing to do in our hearts.
I have 2 things that I think every single person on here needs to be doing, and they're both free. Here's the great news. This is free, but is the absolute most important thing that you can do in a shifting real estate market. Just so you know, those of us who started a real estate business in the 1900s, we've been through 3 market crashes. 3. Crash. I didn't say the word crash. Everybody just had a panic attack. 3 market corrections, balancing, whatever you want to say to make yourself feel better. All right. But here's what you have to do. Number 1 thing you have to do is you have to off hours, not during business hours, because in business hours, you're working in the business. You're showing houses, you're going on listing appointments, you're managing inspections, right? You're negotiating requests for remedies. That's working in the business. You have to work on your business during off hours. Here's the first thing you got to do. First thing in the morning, you've got to work on you. See, here's the thing. You are the brand. You are the brand. If we can develop you into the type of person that has an aura that attracts people, you'll need less leads. You'll need less leads because people are going to choose you. The average person knows 16 realtors by first name. 16. How are they going to choose you? You have to be the best version of yourself you can be. So how do you do that? Well, I recommend this, the Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents. The Miracle Morning for Real Estate Agents has a 1-hour program every morning. It's written by Hal Elrod. And it talks about the SAVERS program, SAVERS. It stands for silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. SAVERS, like a lifesavers, right? You want to get the book, you want to learn it, but it's a 1-hour intense program, getting your mind right, getting your body right, and taking off so that when you do get that lead that day, it is go time, game time, and that person's going to choose you to work with you. So you don't have to generate as many leads. Second thing you got to do is you got to be an active lead generation. Yeah, you got to do all the Facebook posts and all that stuff, but that is passive lead generation. You are waiting for people to come to you in that case. You've got to be active. You got to be out there and getting into your sphere. Here's why. Cold leads are 50 to 1. I would challenge you and say they're probably 100 to 1. 100 cold leads to get 1 closing. Your sphere of influence is somewhere around 10 to 12 leads out of your sphere for you to get one real estate closing. Where do you want to work? 100 to 1 or 10 to 1? For me, I'll go with the odds of 10 to 1. Here's how you get into your sphere. Go ahead and take your phone out. Go down all the way to the bottom of the contacts, find how many contacts you have. Let's say you have 2,700 contacts. You divide that by the number 270. That's how many working days there are, Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. There's 270 in the year. That means 10 a day. You need to send 10 video text messages, or if you just have their email, video emails to those people, letting them know this. It's a 15-second message. Hey, Bob, no, I haven't talked to you forever. Just wanted to let you know I came across you in my contact list. I'm like, man, I hadn't talked to Bob in forever. I just wanted you to know, I hope you have a great day today. Have an amazing day. Hope everything is going great for you. Saw some stuff on Facebook with you and the kids. Looks great. Congratulations on Johnny's honor roll. Look forward to talking to you. Let's connect soon. Boom, send. 10 of those a day out of your phone book. That's your sphere. From there, they're probably going to reply to you. Then when you do, you're going to get a conversation going, and eventually you're going to get to this. Hey, Bob, do you happen to know anybody who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate sometime in the next 6 months? Here's what they're going to say. Not off the top of my head. Why are they going to say that? Because they've never thought of it before. Because you just Jedi mind trick surgically implanted it into their amygdala. Now it's part of their RAS filter, and now they're going to say, wow, I haven't really thought of it like that. Well, tell you what, Bob, would you do me a huge favor? Bob would say, sure. Remember, you just made Bob feel good a little bit on a video. He's going to say, yeah, sure. What's that? Say, would you just keep your eyes and ears open for me? The National Association of Realtors says everybody we know knows at least 5 people who do a real estate transaction in the next 6 months. That means maybe at your kid's school or at your church or at your job. And all I'm asking is this. Would you just introduce us like a 3-way text or a 3-way Facebook message? If you come across somebody who's talking about maybe doing some real estate, I'd be forever in your debt. And here's what I do. I use humor. I'd be forever in your debt. You need someone to walk your dog. If you need somebody to take you to the airport, babysit your kids, you name it, I'm your guy. I would be indebted to you forever. I'd love to connect, but let's connect here sometime in the future, right? That right there is talking to your sphere. You're getting leads from people that know you. Third-party documentation, third-party edification. Bob knows you, likes you, and trusts you, and he's putting it on to Sally from work. And now that's where you get the leads from there like that. I would do 10 a day out of your phone contact list, and I would do every single person who comes across your Facebook group, I would send them a happy birthday video through Messenger, not HPD on their wall, not a GIF on their wall or anything like that, a messenger, Facebook Messenger. Why? Because you can see when they saw it. Number 2, Facebook algorithm says if they're communicating privately, they must be important to each other. What's that going to do? It's going to take all of your Facebook content and stick it in their newsfeed. It's also going to take their stuff and stick it in your newsfeed. And you're going to be able to communicate back and forth. And you're going to take the conversation the same way. Hey, Bob, just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Look, if you miss a day and you're a day late, say, Bob, I missed your birthday. I'm so sorry, man. I hope you had a great day. I hope you got everything you wanted. Looking forward to connecting with you here sometime in the future. Have a great day, man. And you send that as a video. Now, I said video. Some of you are panicking, right? Let me tell you what my coach taught me is this. Well, how come none of us like video? Because we don't like the way we sound. We don't like the way we look. I'm just like you. I'm the same way on it. My coach taught me this. She said, Jim, if your clients don't like the way you sound or look on video, guess what? They ain't going to like the way you sound or look in person. So you might as well just get it over with on the video and just get it out of the way. And you can both not work with each other right out of the gate, and it didn't cost you anything. Free. Both of those free. Both of them done. Before you start your workday, you are off and running. And here's the worst thing that happens out of that, and then I'm going to shut up. This is the worst thing that happens. You made somebody feel really good that day. That's the worst thing that can happen out of it. You made somebody feel really good. I mean, think about the last time somebody just hit you up out of the blue and sent you a video message saying, I hope you have a great day. I came across you on the phone. I know we haven't talked forever. I just want to tell you, I hope you're having a good day. I was thinking about you. Talk to you soon. When was the last time that happened to you? And how would you feel if somebody sent that? Somebody you had worked with in the past, somebody you went to high school with, somebody from your church you haven't talked to or seen forever. Would you feel good or would you feel bad? Everybody, it's a rhetorical question. You'd feel great, right? And that's what we're trying to do. People will remember how you make them feel versus how much you know. You can teach them how much you know first, but first you got to make them feel good for them to use you. Okay, that's what I wanted to add, and I will stop. Work on you as hard as you work in your business. You got to work on your business.
Jim, and all of that is 100. I mean, do those things, and it does. It absolutely works. One of the biggest rude awakenings I ever got in real estate, and I learned this, just a handful of months in the business, is that, yes, I was in real estate. People that knew me knew that. But because I never asked for business, they didn't give me any. Has anybody ever had that happen where I'm like, wait a minute, you were going to sell that property. Why didn't you call me? And that seller said to me, Stephanie, I knew you were in the business, but you never asked me for business. So I assumed you weren't interested in what I had. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to use that the rest of my career to never make that same mistake again. Because asking for business is how you get business. So don't be fearful to ask. And assume that if you don't ask, then they think you're not interested. And if you keep that mentality, that's how you keep winning. And so, even doing what Jim's talking about, just keeping that constant contact, and then the follow-up message, exactly what he said, ask for the business. Because I couldn't believe that people thought that way, but they absolutely do. I lost out on so much business because I never asked for it. Crazy. Alex, you're muted.
Sorry,
Yeah.
so real quick, if anybody has questions, because we're getting close, Alex is going to go next here, and it's 12:46. We are going to open it up to Q&A. If you have a live question you'd like to ask any of our panelists or anybody opening it up on here, because we love all the different interaction we get from agents all across the country, you can raise your hand and we can unmute you and you can ask there. Or if you don't want to talk live on it, you can type it in the chat box and we'll read it out loud and answer your question for you. Alex, go ahead and I'll watch for questions.
Yeah, I was going to say there's statistics behind this, and Jim talked about it a little bit, but it's an extension of that. Your sphere in your database turns over in real estate at an average of anywhere from 8 to 10% per year. Okay. So if you have 100 people in your database, there's 10 transactions. If you're getting a buy and a sell on half of that, there's 15 transactions. And then if you do a good job with them and you get one referral from each person, now you're at 30 transactions, and on and on and on and on we go. That's the stuff, guys, that I've referenced it as Old Faithful the whole time, but those are the people that know, like, and trust and enjoyed their experience in working with you. So while we oftentimes tell ourselves the negative head trash message of, man, I don't know what to say when I call them, where Jim says, guys, call somebody to make them feel good, congratulate them on something, do something to make somebody, guys, just look on your Facebook feed. People either are talking about some negative stuff they're dealing with in their life, or they're talking about some amazing accomplishment for their kid or themselves, or a promotion or a kid or a dog or a pet guys, those are open door conversations to pick up the phone and say, I just wanted to say I saw this and I wanted to congratulate you. That's how, where Stephanie's saying, I didn't ask for the business, start the conversation and then ask for it. Because very rarely are people going to go, oh, thanks for calling, I need a realtor. It's the conversation and the connection first, and then the ability to go, hey guys, the market shifted quite a bit. I'd love to take some time to just grab coffee and talk with you guys about it. Do you know anybody that is experiencing lifestyle changes like yourself? Somebody who's changed jobs, had a baby, that could utilize my real estate services? That feels awkward and uncomfortable because we tell ourselves that we don't want to be a salesperson. But the reality is, guys, that is our job to go do that. So when you talk to those people and you say, who do you know that is moving that needs my help? Those people are going to go, that's a good question. Let me think about that and get back to you. And that's how you get those referrals from people.
And
Stephanie,
on that topic, I want to add to this, putting a post out to all your Facebook connections and friends that says, if you know anybody looking to buy or sell, refer them to me. That screams you are not a hustler and you're lazy. You need to ask those people individually. So don't do those things because that is the perception of it. And again, it's that direct connection where you're taking the time to build the relationship. The relationship's always first. So just remember that asking for business to the masses is not going to net you the business.
We as human beings right now are more connected than we've ever been in history, more connected. But what we are missing is connection. We're connected, but there's no connection. People are screaming, they're crying for affirmation and validation. Why do people put on Facebook that Johnny was on the honor roll? Because they want to be told they're a good parent, right? That's what they want. That's what they're looking to be told. Like, look at the good job I did raising Johnny. He's on the honor roll, right? So give it to them. Give it to him. And I love what Alex said. He 10X what I normally do, which is just send him like a private Facebook message or something. Hey, pick up the phone and call him or send him a video message. Why do we send video messages? And I'm going to see, I saw Alex on mute, so I want him to go again. Psychologically, here's what I want you to know. The first thing a baby recognizes when it comes out of the mother's womb is mom's voice. Mom's voice. The second thing they learn to recognize is faces. That's the second thing. We are drawn instinctually to faces and the sound of people's voices. And because of that, you will beat out everyone else because it's so simple to do, to send a video. It's also simple not to do. And 99.9% of the realtors will not do it. And if you're the only one doing it, how effective can you be? Look, if every realtor was sending video messages, there'd be no effectiveness to it. But no one's doing it. When's the last time a friend of yours picked up and sent you a video saying, happy birthday? Usually they just put like HBD on your wall or put a GIF or something like that, right? That's all you get. And you get a bunch of them. You can't even respond to it because you got 300 of those. You don't even get to look at them. But somebody actually took the time out to call you with their voice, or better yet, sent you a video wishing you a great day. You're going to remember that. People are looking for that. And when you make them feel good, they're drawn to you. And when you worked on yourself earlier that day and you've got your personal growth on point, right? You've got you got your shit together, basically. People are drawn to you with that and they're gonna use you. So Alex, I saw you were getting ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, guys, all this stuff that we're talking about, every angle, every direction, there's so much good information in here to unpack and build whatever direction you guys want to go, right? But I would tell you what this all comes down to is the pain of rejection in pursuit of what you really want to achieve. I don't like how my voice sounds. I don't like what my client will say. What if they do this? What if they tell me they have another friend who's a realtor? The pain of rejection versus the pain of being broke, guys. That's what this all comes down to. And essentially, you get to decide which pain is greater for you and how you want to pursue what ultimately you want to accomplish. And at the end of all of this, guys, what you want to accomplish in life is on the other end of the things that you're most fearful to do. And so if you do those things and you pursue those with relentlessness and you're fearless and you overcome those hurdles. We have a guy on our team. He has a full-time job. He's a part-time realtor, and he's a realtor because it gives him the leverage and the opportunity to pursue his ultimate dream. And we support that because his identity is more than just being somebody that sells real estate. But every time Matt comes in the office, Matt has a window of time that he gets to work. And Matt grabs the phone and relentlessly calls FSBOs, expireds, and people in his phone because he knows I don't have time to go to socialize. I don't have time to do this. I don't have time. I have to build the relationships with these clients immediately. And then from there, I have to grow my business to get referrals from it. And I have this tight window of time. Matt pursues that with relentless tenacity all the time. Matt's one of our highest producing agents on our team, working 50% of the time. It's unbelievable. It's incredible to watch, but it's a testament to his urgency and look, he doesn't care about being embarrassed. He needs to make money and he needs to work because the dream for him is much bigger than that. It's an amazing deal and I love to watch it. And I would tell all of you guys, and I'll close with this. As we talk about a lot of negativity in the markets and a lot of conversation that people are having about interest rates and the head trash and the government and the economy and all that stuff. Good times create weak people. Weak people create hard times. Hard times create strong people, and strong people create good times. You get to pick and choose where you're at in that journey and what your next steps are in pursuit of what you want to accomplish.
I love that, Alex. I love that quote. That's great on there. And look, so we're going to do these every Thursday. We're going to just do them into perpetuity. It's going to be the same time, same link. And here's what I would tell you. Bring somebody else with you. Bring a friend with you next week that's going to be on here. I don't have exactly what our topic is going to be next week. That's probably out there. I was probably supposed to know that here being the host today, but I don't have it. But you can find out what the topic's going to be. Here's what I can tell you. You're going to get some value because it looks like in the comments here, we got some value on here. Ryan asked the question, where do we post the recordings at? Go ahead, and whoever invited you on here will be able to get you the link, Ryan, to get it. There is one because there's a YouTube channel, and I don't know off the top of my head because it's John who has that. So if Alex or Stephanie, if you know the YouTube channel, go ahead and put it in the chat link for the, what's it called? Mastermind? What's it? Do you know what it's called on YouTube?
Real Estate Growth Expansion Network.
Real Estate Growth Expansion Network.
Yeah. And we'll also post it inside of our group too. And anybody that was invited to the call, they'll get an email with the link in it as well.
Perfect. And so what we'd love to have is, if anybody on here, by the way, if one of you, because I know there's a ton of knowledge and a ton of experience on here. If you have like a thing that's your niche thing, like, look, I'm excellent at blah, 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 go ahead and hit up the person that invited you on here. And we could get you to do a segment on here and giving back to the community. What I've always found is I always learn the most when I'm doing the teaching. I think I get more out of it than the students a lot of times. And so I want to thank everybody for getting on today and congratulate you. Look, give yourself a pat on the back today, right? There's a saying that says this: when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And the fact that you got on here shows that you are an awesome agent. You're in that top 5% of agents, and you're going to make it. In fact, you're probably not even going to feel a blip in this market. You're going to cruise right on through and even gain some market share. But there are going to be agents, unfortunately, that don't survive this. And it's not going to be you. You were here. So go ahead and implement some of the things you learned today. Make sure you're on here next week, and go ahead and invite some other people. Are there any questions before we sign off? Anybody wants to unmute and fire away a question? If not, how about a round of applause for Alex and Stephanie today? Great job, you guys. Thank you for all you did.
And you, Jim.
Absolutely. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. It is recorded, so we'll have it here for everybody. But thanks, everybody, for jumping on. Have a great day. Go out there and kick butt. You deserve. I hope you get a shit ton of listings and buyers, and you make a lot of money, guys, and you have a bunch of free time. Go get it.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
See ya.
Excellent job, you guys.
Great,
Thank
great,
you.
great.